Something crazy is happening with cruise prices in 2026. I am not talking about the fares you see advertised on TV. Those are just the bait. I just got back from a sailing where a couple told me their $800 all-inclusive budget was blown by day 3 because of brand new surcharges. Another family was hit with a $150 no-show fee just for missing a dinner reservation they forgot to cancel. Cruise lines have gotten way smarter in 2026, rolling out hidden charges that drain your wallet before you even hit the buffet. Here are the 10 newest cruise ripoffs and exactly how to avoid them. Secret number 7 is a massive trap that even loyal cruisers are falling for. 1. The new non-resident step-off taxes. In 2026, simply walking off the ship now triggers a hidden entry fee that most passengers never see coming. For decades, port taxes were bundled into your initial fare. But in the new cruise landscape, local governments are bypassing the cruise lines and hitting your onboard account directly. If your 2026 itinerary includes Mexico or popular Mediterranean spots like Venice or Santorini, you need to watch your invoice like a hawk. I saw a family of 4 in Cozumel last month lose $168 before they even touched the sand. They thought they had a paid-in-full vacation, but Mexico has implemented a new non-resident fee of roughly $42 per person. Here's the catch. These fees are often added after you've already booked. You see a great fare, you click reserve, and then weeks later, you get an updated invoice with these extra charges tacked on. It is a total budget killer. It makes your cheap cruise feel like a bait-and-switch before you even pack your bags. If you aren't prepared, you'll find yourself skipping excursions just to pay the tax for standing on the pier. Most cruisers don't realize that these environmental taxes are non-negotiable and won't be refunded if you stay on the ship. Always check the taxes and fees breakdown for terms like non-resident surcharge or sustainability levy. To avoid being blindsided, factor in an extra $50 per person for any Caribbean or European sailing in 2026. 2. The Starlink connectivity tier hike. Starlink internet is now the gold standard at sea, but cruise lines are using this upgrade as an excuse to double their prices. We all wanted faster Wi-Fi, but we didn't expect it to cost as much as the cruise fare itself. In 2026, the premium internet tiers are hitting record highs. I recently spoke with a cruiser on an MSC ship who was shocked to find that their daily Wi-Fi rate had jumped to $30 per day. For a 7-night cruise for 2 people, that is a $420 expense just to check your email and post a few photos. That used to be the price of an entire balcony upgrade. The lines are betting on the fact that you can't live without being connected. They've moved away from simple social packages and are forcing you into expensive streaming tiers by throttling basic speeds until the internet is unusable. It's essentially a productivity tax. If you need to work or stay in touch with family, this becomes a non-negotiable drain on your vacation fund. You think you're getting a better value because the speed is faster, but you're repaying a 100% markup for a service that costs the cruise line almost nothing to maintain once the dish is installed. Use the login swap method. Buy only one device login for the entire cabin. When you're done, log out so your spouse can log in on their phone. You'll save 50% immediately and realize you rarely both need to be on the Wi-Fi at the exact same time. 3. The main dining room, second main surcharge. The era of all-you-can-eat in the main dining room is officially dead on several major lines. For 50 years, the rule was simple. If you wanted 2 appetizers or 2 entrees, you got them. But in 2026, the second main surcharge has become standard policy. On lines like NCL and Royal Caribbean, if you want a second lobster tail or even a second different steak during your meal, get ready for a $15 surcharge on your bill. It's no longer complimentary once you hit that second plate. I watched a man get into a heated argument with a head waiter because he wanted the prime rib and the salmon. He was told it would be an extra charge for the additional protein. This policy is a psychological trap. It is designed to push you towards specialty dining. The cruise lines figure that if the free room is going to charge you $15 for extra food, you might as well just spend the $60 to go to the upscale steakhouse instead. They are slowly eroding the value of the main dining room to make the paid options look like a better deal. It's nickel-and-diming at the dinner table, and it leaves a bad taste in every cruiser's mouth. Don't pay the surcharge. Instead, load up on multiple appetizers and desserts. which are still currently free and unlimited on most lines. If you're still hungry after your single main course, hit the late-night buffet for a second meal that won't cost you a dime. 4. The shrinking service gratuity lie. Mandatory gratuities have crept up to nearly $20 per person per day, but the actual level of service you receive is being slashed. Most passengers think these higher fees mean the staff is making more money, but the reality is much darker. In 2026, cabin stewards are now servicing nearly twice as many rooms as they did just a few years ago. I.e., I noticed many ships moving to once a day cleaning instead of the traditional morning and evening service. You are paying 30% more in tips for what feels like 30% less attention. You might find your trash isn't emptied until 2 p.m., or you're missing fresh towels because your steward is physically overwhelmed. This isn't really a gratuity anymore. It's a hidden ticket price increase. The cruise lines use these fees to offset their own labor costs while making the initial cruise fare look lower on the website. They know most people won't go to guest services to complain about a few dollars a day, but over a week, a family of 4 is paying nearly $600 in tips for service that feels rushed and impersonal. Prepay your gratuities the very moment you book your cruise. Cruise lines almost always raise the gratuity rate every 12 months. By locking it in early, you are legally protected from the inevitable price hike that will happen before you actually sail in 2026. 5. The private island drink package exclusion. In a shocking 2026 move, some lines have stopped honoring your unlimited drink package the moment you step off the ship onto their own private islands. This is one of the sneakiest traps because the island is literally owned by the cruise line. I saw this play out on a recent NCL sailing to Great Stirrup Cay. Passengers with $1,000 all-inclusive drink packages were being told that their wristbands only applied while on board the vessel. Once they were on the beach, they were forced to pay cash for every single $15 margarita. Imagine paying for an unlimited package specifically so you can enjoy drinks on a tropical beach, only to find out you're being double-charged the moment you sit in a lounge chair. It is a total bait-and-switch. The cruise line advertises the island as an extension of the ship, but they treat the bars like a third-party vendor to squeeze extra profit out of you. If you aren't careful, a relaxing day on the sand can easily add $100 to your bill in drinks alone. Always confirm with your onboard bartender if the package extends to the island before you walk down the gangway. If it doesn't, grab 2 drinks to go at the poolside bar right before you get off the ship to save yourself the initial beach tab. 6. The Anytime Dining Wait Time Tax. Flexible, or My Time, dining is being intentionally bottlenecked in 2026 to encourage cruisers to buy priority access passes. Most people choose anytime dining because they want freedom, but the cruise lines have turned that freedom into a line-standing nightmare. On newer megaships, I've seen wait times for anytime dining hit 60 minutes or more during the prime 7 p.m. window. However, if you bought the key or the faster to the fun pass, you're walked right past the crowd and seated immediately. You are essentially being forced to pay a premium just to avoid a line for free food. It's an artificial delay created to make the paid priority programs look essential. This turns the most relaxing part of your day into a stressful logistical hurdle. Instead of enjoying a sunset, you're staring at a vibrating pager in a crowded hallway. It feels like the cruise line is holding your dinner hostage until you agree to pay for an upgrade. Avoid the anytime trap and stick to traditional set time dining, either early or late seating. It is 100% free, there is never a wait, and you get the same waitstaff every night who will actually learn your name and drink preferences, saving you from the priority upcharge. 7. The Guaranteed Cabin Proximity Trap. Letting the cruise line pick your room to save a few bucks is now a dangerous gamble. In 2026, the Guaranteed Cabin category is being used almost exclusively to fill rooms that are functionally defective due to noise or vibration. Many cruisers think they're getting a deal by letting the line assign their cabin. But the truth is, those rooms are usually the ones no one else wanted. I've talked to passengers who were assigned rooms directly under the 24-hour wait room or right above the anchor winch. Imagine being woken up at 5 a.m. by the sound of a literal chain gun because your room is at the very front of the ship. You might save $100 on the fare, but you lose every single night of sleep. A sleep-deprived vacation is a total waste of money, regardless of how cheap the ticket was. In 2026, with ships sailing at 105% capacity, there are no good rooms left over for the guarantee category. You are getting the leftovers, and the leftovers are loud. Never book a guaranteed room on a ship over 10 years old, as the vibration issues near the engines are much worse. Use a site like Cruise Deck Plans to see exactly what is above and below your room before you commit to a specific cabin number. 8. The floating pharmacy markup. The most expensive Advil you will ever buy is on a cruise ship. In 2026, cruise lines have hiked the prices in their onboard gift shops and medical centers to predatory levels. I saw a passenger last month pay $18 for a tiny pack of 6 ibuprofen tablets in the ship's shop. Even worse, if you forget your seasickness meds and need a 5-minute consultation with the ship's doctor, you could be looking at a $150 bill just for the visit. They know you are a captive audience. If you have a splitting headache or a stomach ache in the middle of the ocean, you'll pay whatever they ask. Minor ailments shouldn't cost you the price of a shore excursion. It's a massive profit center for the cruise line, and it's one of the easiest ripoffs to avoid with a little bit of planning. Most passengers assume the medical center is there to help, but in reality, it functions more like an overpriced emergency room. Pack a floating pharmacy Ziploc bag from home. Include Dramamine, Tylenol, Imodium, Band-Aids, and aloe vera. It will cost you $20 at your local drugstore and save you $200 on the ship. Also, most guest services desks will give you generic seasickness pills for free if you just ask. 9. The shore excursion safety scare. Cruise lines are using aggressive scare tactics in 2026 to justify excursion prices that are 200% higher than local vendors. During the port briefing, the excursion manager will repeat the same line. Only ship-sponsored tours are safe, and the ship will leave you if you're late. I saw a snorkeling trip in Grand Cayman for $140 through the ship that was literally identical to a $45 tour offered by a reputable vendor right at the pier. You are paying a massive fear tax. For a family of 4, that's an extra $400 for the exact same boat, the exact same water, and the exact same fish. The cruise lines rely on your anxiety to keep their profit margins high. While it's true the ship won't wait for a random person, professional third-party tour operators have back-to-ship guarantees because their entire business depends on it. They aren't trying to herd 50 people on a single bus like the cruise lines. They offer better, smaller, and much cheaper experiences. Use reputable third-party sites like Shore Excursions Group or Resort for a Day. They offer the same insurance and return-to-ship guarantees as the cruise line, but at a fraction of the cost. 10. The Smart TV/Input Lockout. Your cabin TV is officially a ransom device in 2026. On the newest ships from lines like MSC and Carnival, the TVs are being locked to prevent you from using your own streaming devices like a Fire Stick or Roku. You might try to plug your device into the HDMI port to watch a movie you already paid for, only to find that Input button has been software disabled by the cruise line. Their goal is simple. They want to force you to pay $14.99 per movie for the ship's on-demand service. It's a total trap for families with kids who just want to watch their favorite shows before bed. You're trapped in a pay-to-play entertainment loop. If the weather is bad and you're stuck in your cabin, your all-inclusive fun suddenly has a hidden price tag. It's a small, frustrating ripoff that feels particularly greedy when you're already paying for a high-speed Wi-Fi package. Bring a cheap universal remote from home. These remotes can often bypass the hotel mode on the TV and allow you to switch the input to your own HDMI device. It's a $10 investment that gives you unlimited free entertainment for the rest of the week. 2026 is going to be an incredible year for cruising, but only if you know how the lines are trying to sneak extra charges onto your bill. From port taxes to lobster surcharges, the base fare is really just the beginning of the story. If you stay alert, stick to your budget, and pack your own meds, you can still have an amazing, affordable vacation. If you found these tips helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to join our community of smart cruisers. Comment below, which of these 2026 fees do you think is the biggest ripoff?